Hey guys, welcome back to another unboxing. Thank you for joining me today. And today we're going to talk about the board game Last Friday. Some Legends Never Die, the ultimate survival horror experience. Let's turn this over, see the back, and find out what the game's going to be all about. Last Friday is a horror game that takes place at a cursed summer camp. It's the story of a maniac who came back from the dead. Summer 1980. 5 friends were hired as counselors by the new owners of a camp in the woods to patch up the property in exchange for a free vacation. But now, they're just trying to survive the weekend. In the past, Camp Apache was the scene of mysterious events. Legend has it, years ago, a man suspected of multiple murders drowned in the lake while escaping from the police, but his body was never discovered. Local townsfolk are convinced an undead and murderous presence haunts the camp. As a young camp counselor, will you be able to survive a long weekend of terror? Will you run away, or will you have the courage to fight the maniac and avenge your friends? As the undying psychopath hidden in the shadows of the forest, will you be able to catch all the campers? You can hide from them when they feel brave, then take your revenge when they are unprepared. Last Friday is a game for 2 to 6 players, divided into 4 different chapters full of horror and suspense, which you can play individually or together in a long night of terror. The nightmare is about to begin. So on the bottom here it says, it's not suitable for anyone under the age of 13, so 13 plus. It takes about 45 minutes to play each of the sections. So it's 45 minutes per chapter, and there's 4 chapters. And this is a game that's good for 2 to 6 players. There's also a solo companion in here as well if you want to do that. But let's break this bad boy open and see what's inside. First thing you have, and this thing's definitely very cool, is the Maniacs board. So within this board here, this is where you keep track, or this is your area where you keep track. You put a blank piece of paper under here, and you track where you are on the board at all times. When you see the red splotches, that's when you let the other people who are playing the game have an idea as to the whereabouts of where the monster currently is walking. You keep track of where you're walking by looking at the map right here, okay, or inside the cabins, and the information for each one of the scenarios that you're going to play. Scenario 1. So in other words, if the monster, or the killer shall we say, crosses paths with any of the other players, the player dies. In the second scenario, if the players see the killer dies. So the killer has to avoid the counselors. In the third one, if the killer goes over any of the counselors, they die. But if the counselors find him, they can inflict wounds on him. And then we have part 4, which then all of a sudden they're trying to hunt down and kill the killer and free everyone from the horror that he's inflicted upon the camp. Okay? So that's that thing. We have an instruction book. A lot of instructions, because there's 4 different sections in this, and each one has its own rules. So right here's the title page, game components, objects for game, how to play, camper cards, maniac tracking screen, which we already went over, the maniac itself, how he plays, special moves of the maniac, the campers, the special moves of campers. End of a chapter, salvation and terror points, tiles and tokens, round tokens, clue tokens, acute hearing, bear traps, lanterns, shovels, sneakers, welcome tokens, keys, boat token, corpse tokens, maniac tokens, axe, here I come, invisible, plot twist, shadow, supernatural speed, cabin tiles, chapter 1, goal, setup, how to play it, Trail of the Maniac, the clashes, end of the chapter, suggestion, single chapter mode. So you could play it one chapter or you could play all 4 of them back to back. Chapter 2, the chase, the goal, the setup, how to play, the Trail of the Maniac, the clashes, end of the chapter, suggestion, single chapter mode. Chapter 3, the massacre, goal, setup, how to play, the Trail of the Maniac, the clashes, end of the chapter, suggestions, and single chapter mode. Of course, chapter 4, which is the final chapter, goal, setup, how to play, Trail of the Maniac, the clashes, end of the chapter, suggestions, single chapter mode, credits, and a summary of all the chapters. This is the last page. Very nicely done. The layout is great, colorful, hints, everything you would need to be successful while playing the game. Let's take a look at the board. I'm going to put this over here for now. Let's pull the board out. It is a massive board, so I'll pull this to the side for a moment. And again, just real quick inside, what else do we find? What other kind of goodness do we find in there? This up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a very, very big board. So on the bottom here, this is the starting point for where the entrance to the camp is. Red goes first, yellow second, green third, blue, then brown. This tracks the monsters. Every chapter only lasts a total of 15 rounds. Some are shorter, but this is where you keep track of what round you're on. Okay? But as you can tell, as we go through the map, let's take a look at this. The big numbers are for the creature, or I should say the murderer, to how he moves from here to here. From 161 to 116 to 133. He never lands on the small white dots. On the other side of the coin, the campers, or I should say the counselors at the camp, they move on the white dots, the small white dots. That's how they move. Okay. Where the red is, that's an entry point for the killer. There's a cabin up there. Cabin down here. A couple cabins down here. Of course, the lake in the middle. Some cabins up there. Beautifully done, as you can tell. But you need a bunch of room to put the board down. But the artwork is awesome. So what else is in the box? 30 yellow tokens. Just pull one of those out. You can see them all. Looks like one of those little chips you would use for a bingo game or something like that. There it is right there for you. Got a bunch of those. I believe it's 30 of those you get. Here are your individual cabins. So you got your brown cabin, your blue cabin, your green cabin, your red cabin, and your yellow cabin. these get placed upon the board itself. For a character to get into the cabin, they must find the key somewhere, which will be located somewhere on the board. Only the character of the same color plus the person who found the key is allowed inside the cabin. So if I'm the yellow player is allowed to be inside the yellow cabin. No one else is, unless if the green guy finds it, the green guy's allowed in there and the yellow guy's allowed in there, but no one else would be allowed to go into the cabin. Okay? So you know that. And speaking of the guys, we got a bunch of them. We got a green one, got a yellow one. This is a special character. This comes out, I believe, in scene 3. In the third act, this person comes out, and this is a person who seems to know the most and is able to attack the creature at will. Okay. So they have some kind of special powers. Not sure yet, haven't got to that scenario quite yet. Once I do, maybe I'll do another video about how to play that scenario. Okay, but he's got special powers. That's a very important one. And here are your other counselors. You have a red one, brown one, and a blue one. The cool thing about this game also is this. I'm going to show you something else which is kind of cool. You've got these cool camp counselor cards, all right? Each person, it gives you their name up top. It gives you their special ability down here. Heart-rending cry. When she is eliminated from the game, all campers must immediately move one white dot. Now, if you look at the cards here, first thing first. So these are the brown players. You have Susan, Brenda, and Steve. All right, each of them has something different. But if you look at a card here, they all start off with one token, and it's the highlighted token. So this one here, it's a red token right here. This one's for listening. So if the killer is near you, you can hear them moving around. There's a pair of sneakers, which tells you that you could do double movement. Here's a shovel here, that is to bury the dead. That's a bear trap, and if the murderer goes into the bear trap, he can get wounded, or it slows him down. And then right here we have the lantern, which allows you to see more spaces than you normally would be able to see. Okay. Now, if Susan gets killed in the first game, I'm not sure if she's in the first scenario or not, but let's hypothetically say she is. If Susan's in the first one, she gets killed, that character gets killed and gets put back in the box. But for the next game, you pull another counselor out, another brown counselor. So Susan would be dead for the rest of the game. Now, again, these cards have both front and back. So Susan, let me show you Susan's card. There's Susan. You got Brenda. Card. You got Steve. There's Steve. Here's the red team, Marcy. Again, you only get one of these cards per act. There's Matt. Red team. There's Matt. That's funny. He's got the red sweater like Nightmare on Elm Street, like Freddy Krueger. It says Elm Street right there. That's kind of funny in Camp Apache. You got Bill. Oh, who's that guy back there? We don't know yet. Here's Kelly. Now here comes the characters that are part of, as you can tell right up here, it's the yellow team, Kelly. There she is. Daphne. Ned. Jason, but not that Jason, but this is Jason. Probably an homage to the Friday the 13th films, because obviously this board game is very, shall we say, Jason-ish. Jason's part of the blue team, Andy's part of the blue team. My man Max, here he is, blue team. There's Max. Got Jack from the green team. There's Jack. Here's Alice. To the moon, Alice, to the moon. Alice. And my man Sam. So you have a lot of characters to choose from. If they get killed again in a scenario, the following scenario, you would bring a different, you'd open up another card and bring that in. And the last thing in the box that we have here are all the tokens that you require and need for the game. So I'm not going to show you them all, but I'll show you some of them. All the tokens are two sides, so this one here is a hint. And it's got a shovel inside it. That's what the lantern looks like. That's the listening, where you can hear the killer when they're coming towards you. Again, it's got the bloody footprints on it. I had told you there was a lake in the camp. You could take this boat to go across the water, either direction. You got a bear trap. This is the coin that you use. It's not really a coin, it's a token, but it's used at the bottom to keep track of the 15 rounds. That is your killer token. Front, back. This is a welcome token. Welcome you to the camp. Sneakers on that one. That's the one that allows you to run faster. Again, here's the key. So this red key here also indicates the fact that you'll be able to open up the red cabin. Okay, and then this guy would be able to go in there for free, no problem. He can get in there, but only one other person, the person who found the key, is allowed to go in there. So if the red guy finds the key, he's the only one who would go into the red cabin. And the idea is once you're in the cabin, you're safe. Without the cabin, you're not safe. And of course, your victim token. And you got an axe. There's your killer again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, ends another unboxing. Again, last Friday. Thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to write a comment below, throw us a like, and thank you for joining us. Be safe, be well, be blessed, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.